Hello everyone, welcome to today's 365 Devo. Pastor Paul here. I want to talk to you about the book of Joshua, chapter number 4. Chapter number 4 is where Joshua takes the children of Israel in the Ark of the Covenant and they cross over the Jordan River into the Promised Land for the first time. Joshua is a new leader at this moment. Moses has passed the torch and Joshua is taking the people into the promise of God. And while they're doing that, they cross over on dry ground and they take 12 stones from amidst the river and they put them on the other side of the banks of the river. And God tells them that the reason they're doing that is for those 12 stones to be a memorial that when children pass by, they ask their parents and their grandparents, what are those stones there for? And they are to remind them that God was faithful in Egypt to bring them out of Egypt, faithful in the wilderness, and faithful to bring them into the promised land that they would then possess. And last week to me served as a Gilgal for our church. It was a time when we came together and we honored all of those who had paid the price and put in the labor and loved deeply and gave grace and mercy and preached the word and all of the great gifts and talents and just everyone who invested into our church's history. And we celebrated that. It was as if we were taking 12 stones and stacking them up and saying, look what God has done. And we stacked those up, and I believe last week became a type of spiritual Gilgal for us. And my prayer is that we can go forth and begin to fight and win the battles ahead of us, that we could press on and see revival and be a church that impacts our community, that we grow. And as the numbers grow, people will begin to ask us about the church's history. What about that Legacy Sunday? What about the first Legacy Sunday? And we can say that was a day when we celebrated what God had brought us through and knew that He was going to be faithful to take us to the future that we have now. I pray that that's what last week served for you, but I also pray that you have personal Gilgals in your life. Places that you can go back to and say, whether I've won a battle or I've lost a battle, God is still faithful. I can look back at what He's done. I'm reminded by these memorials what He's done, and He's going to be faithful in my future. That's what we have in our Lord, is a faithful God. Sometimes we win a battle, sometimes we lose. The children of Israel fought the battle of Jericho just after crossing into Gilgal. They didn't stay in Jericho. They went back to Gilgal. They assessed what God had done, reflected on His faithfulness. Then they went out and fought a battle at Ai, and they lost because of sin. And they returned back to Gilgal, and they addressed that sin. And God made them victorious again. I believe it's because they went back and just honored God. That's what I think we need to do at times in our lives, is just go back and honor God. And when we do, He'll show us His faithfulness and He'll win over and over and over again for us. Let this be a blessing to you today.